Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? Fed week. So
Morning, Mr. Tambury Man.
Hey, how are you, Ryan?
All good, mate. You?
Pretty good. I'm hearing
Morning,
an
Dale.
echo.
Morning,
Hearing
everybody.
an echo. Stel, how are you?
Hello, Coach.
Okay, so some give back in front of the Fed,
Yep.
right?
By the way, great call on wheat, Coach.
I was just about to say that as well.
That was absolutely incredible. Well done.
Oh, thanks, man. So, there'll still be a chance to catch it. I looked at it this morning, even though it's, open limit up. I don't think there's anything wrong with buying it anywhere, but we could get a retraced back to a prior high. But it's outperforming. All the grains are higher, but definitely wheat because of corn. Corn actually looks better. So don't forget about grains. You can't eat gold, right? And soybeans are protein gold. That's what grain traders call it anyway. So thanks, Stel. So dollar, is it going to set up a rally to sell into the Fed, or are we going to make new highs? I know there are a lot of people thinking that we may have bottomed here and we're just going to blow to new highs. I don't know.
I think we're seeing the pendulum swinging again, the Fed pendulum. You know, we were looking super dovish last week after the early data in the early part of the week, and everyone's trading the pivot. And now we've gone the other way. There's people out there, I can't remember if it was Goldies or JPM, saying that the Fed might, get up to their 5% ceiling at a minimum. So it's just It's the usual tides, isn't it? C goes in, C goes out as you get into these meetings.
Okay, and we'll see. I actually, if we're not going to make new highs in the yen after the Fed, I'm going to be looking for spots to sell it. And then just one other idea into the Fed is right here in Canada. I mean, it's simple technical analysis 101. Looks like a neckline. Maybe we put in a shoulder up here, 38. If not, we could blow to 141 or so. But I might attempt to short there. Not as much give back in your Aussie, Ryan. What do you think? You hold it, or you got out of it?
No, I'm holding it. I'm in for the long haul. We ran into a big zone, 65, 20, 40.
Okay.
Bit of a brick wall. Under 64 is looking a bit weak again. Do we go back in the box and carry on going sideways?
Okay. All right, because they seem to be, earlier it was only down 10 with everything else down. You can't. I'm in an I don't know mode, and maybe we'll finally get new lows in gold on the Fed. I just marked a couple of areas to pay attention to in gold going forward in here, 1580. 1570, and silver, I have a circle down here at the 3 drive line comes in.
Well, we've been talking about patience, right? We've been talking about patience for a while, and I still think the risk is for the Fed to disappoint the bulls.
Pull the rug.
Pull the rug, they've done it so many times before. Obviously, they have reason to kind of start shifting the rhetoric, but the main reason not to is what Danielle DiMartino Booth said on Trader Summit, which is the markets are not panicking yet. They're still doing okay. Yes, we're down from the highs in S&P and NASDAQ and all that, but we're still well above pre-COVID highs. So as long as the markets are not panicking, if I was the Fed, I'd just say, keep going. Obviously, you see readings in the housing market, PMIs, which are not good, especially the housing market. I mean, that pending home sales number last week was shocking. But again, it's no reason to panic yet. So as long as there isn't reason to panic, they're going to try and take rates to 5% or wherever. Then they have ammunition to cut when they need to cut. Simple as that.
Okay. and we'll see what kind of give back we get in the SPOOs. You think we'll just that was it? Still,
Well, we talked about
went to your number
3,900, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, maybe went above by a couple of points, but
Clean it up.
3,900. Yeah.
Clean it up.
Now, as I said on the Flow Show, if you're taking a bet over the Fed, you're gambling. You know, unless you're
Right.
Jay Powell, or unless you know something, in which case, well done. You're gambling, and I don't want to gamble, so I'm not touching it before the Fed.
Okay, nothing new for me either till post-Fed. This was a very nice rally, so we'll see. I guess your first warning sign will be back under 38. Because they tried to negate this 3,800 breakout. It was on real bad, I don't know, FANG earnings or MAG earnings. And then the next day it got back above 38 and rocketed. That was, Friday. So we'll see. I have been reading. There's a lot of bullishness and options. Huge amount of like 1 week options that people are buying. That's the way they're participating, and they're not. And the premiums are not cheap. So there is some bullishness in the option market, but you know what? They're buying 1 week options. So it's not like long-term bullish, or they'd have, maybe at least a December, January strike they'd be participating in. So I don't know what they're looking for in a week. Maybe they think the market's going to keep going, whatever the Fed does. But just something I read about, wanted to pass on. That's about it. Let's talk yields. Of course, I mean the Fed. I actually think there's a chance, no matter what the Fed does, that it's a failing rally in yields, or higher low in notes. Maybe we get back up towards 418, 420. But I think it would be a sell there, or the notes would be a buy. And the shorter term paper is definitely acting better than like the 20-year paper. But if they hike and TLT puts in a higher low, which just says it should make a new low, but it's such a broken market, who knows? But I just kind of think that that may have been it for a while in yields, and if we don't make new highs, I think we could be looking at lower yields. Maybe we're going to start getting better news just based on the inflation comparisons, not because it's just compared to how bad it was, it'll get better. Not that it's ever going to be the way it used to be, but just better compared to last year. So that's something else I wanted to talk about. Crude under pressure here. Any news in the oil patch that you guys have heard of? Everything down. So here we are to the bipolar market.
Yep.
Strong dollar, weak everything else, weak dollar, strong everything else. So I still think this is an important low for a move to $100 and crude. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to sit back and wait for opportunities that the Fed may create, or if not. So that's my, plan. It doesn't make sense for me to start putting on new positions 2 days in front of the Fed. So
I like your outlook in dollar yen. I've actually just this minute tapped in a really small dollar yen short. I'm going to do another little short build up towards those highs.
Okay, that gives me some confidence. I just drew this line like blind. We were down here, and I said, well, maybe we'll end up with some type of descending triangle, but it doesn't mean that it can't go. But that line isn't anchored on anything. Okay, it's just an imaginary line up there. So yeah. I don't know why I have this up here, but if it's a failing rally, remember Mark Chandler said that what's happening with the dollar is like a waterfall, and that one thing goes over it. They don't all happen simultaneously, but they'll line up one after another in their time, and that was based upon him believing cable bottomed and had all the hallmarks of a panic bottom, and that's a bottom. And maybe Euro hasn't. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe they could flush it again. But maybe the yen has. Maybe the yen is the next one to go over the waterfall as far as a peak. So that's
I think you've got to watch that candle today, because we are creeping up. And if we get above 149 today, we're potentially entering intervention zone based on how we've moved over the last day or two.
So you think they'll come in lower than they did before? They're not going to wait like last time for new highs to try and hit it. They're going to try and stop the momentum prior.
They could do it. All depends on how far we move. Our ballpark is 200-300 pips in a session or two. If we're moving in those sort of ranges one way, that's when they look to step in. They're still not picking numbers in this. It's all about the volatility. So if we get above 149 today, up to 150, we're in the zone for intervention.
Okay. All right. What else is on your mind, guys? Anything happening in the UK? This looks like this would be corrective. Depending upon what the dollar did, this looks like an important zone now, 114.
Yeah.
I don't think we should get back to 12.5 again, or there's something else going on. So
BOE this week.
BOE too, huh? Okay.
Yeah, on Thursday. So yeah.
Okay.
And we're really not sure what they're going to do. They could go 50, 75, 100. It's really a coin toss, as Kay said this morning. I think 75 is probably the base case, but it really is up in the air.
Okay. Definitely a week to pare down leverage if you're going to trade. I mean, these are red events, so I think they call them red events because that could turn into the color of your account. So the markets will be here after the Fed. Make sure your equity is. And that's Euro pound looks like it's trying to turn here. I'm having a hard time having a bias here, but as I look at this, I'd be a more willing buyer wrong under here, 85, and think that we could retrace, finally get some type of retracement of this move to here. So, but again, Fed time, I'll just wait for the Fed, but I'd be looking to buy it rather than sell it and look for a continuation move. You have a view on it, Stel? It was hardly here. Are we going to have another chance to short it at close to that high?
Good question. We're in no man's land, right in the middle, and Ryan was talking about this on the Flow Show. I agree with him. If we get close to the 85, low 85s, I think it's probably, and we have the DMA there. What's that? Which one is it? 200 DMA? 200,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a point of interest. If you go back, there has been some traffic on that zone. So, I think 85's probably a nice risk reward.
Conflict. This is the weekly. So this is the 50 week and the 200 day come in at the same time.
There you go.
So there's going to be, an attempt to hold it there, I believe.
Yeah, there is, however, there's a lot of stuff happening both in the EU and the UK, especially the UK. So taking a position in the euro pound it's putting you at risk of tape bombs and sudden moves. Obviously, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? But yeah, I would love to see a nice rally towards the 90s again. I think that's going to be a really good shorting opportunity, but I don't know if we're going to get there. So for the moment, I'm not touching the euro pound. Remember when I was calling for 90 when it was in the low 83s, mid 83s? Yeah. Well, we got there. You get these chances every now and then, and you have to capitalize. But
you had 5 minutes.
Yeah,
you had to have a limit order in, bro.
It was a good volume though going through that day. But yeah. You're right.
Something else happening. I thought copper was breaking out last week? No. Yeah, it's not such a good sign for,
Yeah.
economically. So, and if you looked at a copper stock like Freeport, it looks great compared to it. I think I have it somewhere, but
We're back in growth fears, aren't we? With China crap data overnight, lockdowns coming again in various areas. The Foxconn factory, the Big Apple factory, shutting down partially. It's all back to global recession stuff again in the commodities by the looks of things.
Yeah, look how much better Freeport looks with copper rolling over. I'd probably go to the door if I was on Freeport now with what copper's doing. Yeah, so maybe there's going to be a time. I think this will be the big fooler at one point. Is that rates come down not because there's a growth scare, and it doesn't support stocks because there's a growth scare. That's really going to, I think, fool some people. Well, rates are coming down. Stock should, really go again, and maybe it doesn't help. I don't think we're in that situation now, but I think that's something down the road to pay attention to, probably next year. So, Blake, are you working, or are you in Las Vegas, or did you get out your Halloween costume with Steve?
Viva
Steve
Las Vegas, baby.
Oh, they're in Vegas now?
I don't know, actually. I'm just
God,
joking.
I tell you. Yeah, I mean, what what was
wait, are you guys talking about Vegas?
Yeah, baby.
Hey, Vegas, baby.
Did you go?
How are you guys doing?
Good. You sound exhausted.
I can honestly say I'm so exhausted, and I really want to chip in today's conversation, but I'm just trying to get my head around everything that's been going on, and so
the Volgy man wore out, man.
No,
come on, Blake. We want analysis on the Brazilian real Polish zloty cross.
Yeah, actually, I'm still trying to read up on everything, especially after the Brazilian election this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I've been sitting back here listening to you guys with Steve. We're having other conversations here as well. He's going to be in town for the remainder of the week, but it has been a whirlwind for us. It's been great. We've gone to Vegas, we've gone to Sedona, we've gone to I think where else were we gone? Grand Canyon. We've gone trick-or-treating. We went to Halloween parties. We've had dinner at our family's house last night, and taking kids to the spooky train parks and all. So it's been nonstop. And I can say that over the last 5 or 6 days, I think I've slept in a total of 20 hours. So and Steve is right there with me. So we're just trying to keep our head above water throughout the course of the day.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it was, it's not like we go and just we're just going to have just fun. It's when you're dragging around family. We have another family that's traveling with us, which is a friend of their family, and kids, and minivans and everything else. It's quite a journey, but it's been a lot of fun. So anyway, I just want to say hello, and wish I could chip in more. Tomorrow I'm going to be a little bit more active here.
Let me guess, Blake, all the strippers know Steve by first name now, right?
They do.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, anyway, like I said, I wish I could chip in a little bit more, but I'm really not in the I don't have enough
it's obvious.
All right, goodbye.
Go get some rest, boss.
Yeah, he sounds very hungover.
Stop being so tough on Blake. You get some sleep too, man. It's an order. It's an order, buddy. What was your costume, Steve? Were you at Star Wars, or
he was a Ghostbuster?
Yes,
but he wasn't Venkman. Venkman was the best one, man. But you weren't him. You were one of the others. Anyway,
yeah. Actually, that is true.
Go to sleep, Steve. Go to sleep.
And it's okay. We wake up really, really early every day.
How do you like it? Anyway, all
Okay,
right,
so
guys. Well, good
look,
to,
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking forward to the Fed.
Yeah.
You have to look at what the market's pricing, and you have to, if you want to make a trade, you have to kind of take a view on that. And the market's pricing pretty much 75, and the terminal rate of just below 5%, if I recall. Let me see. May Fed funds is at 95.05. So basically 490. I think there's a risk to that, unfortunately, to the upside. I don't think they're going to do more than 75 this meeting, but I do think that Powell is not going to be dovish. As I said before, there are reasons for him to be dovish, but there are not enough reasons for him to be dovish. If he does turn dovish in any way, then Fed's credibility gets. It's already gone anyway, but whatever they have left, that gets shattered again, because let's face it, inflation is still high, and that's their mandate, and employment is still good. Yes, they're both lagging indicators, and what the Fed does and what central banks do, from people who were insiders have told us that they try to look 1 or 2 years forward and try to understand if the current monetary policy is enough to bring inflation down to their target. And theoretically, it should be, because I think early next year, inflation is going to start dropping, and it's going to start dropping fast because of the way it's calculated, and also because of demand destruction from all the tightening, etc., etc. Add to that potentially, I know it's not a probable scenario yet, but add to that maybe some kind of good news out of Russia and Ukraine, and you have a triple whammy, and it's going to be it's going to give the Fed all the ammunition they need to pause, but at the moment they don't have that. So unfortunately, even though leading indicators are turning, they have to keep going, and they're inevitably going to overcorrect. They're going to overhike, just like they were late to start. They're going to be late to finish. So that's my view. My view is I think that Powell is not going to be dovish. So as long as that's the case,
so we should go to 450 or so on the 10-year.
Yes, if he's not dovish, we break the highs. I mean, I think that's almost a given. 420. Where is it?
And let's clarify to people what dovish
430
means.
something.
Dovish doesn't mean that QE is back. It means they're going to pause. So it's a new definition of dovish, is that they're just going to stop raising rates. Doesn't mean they're going to do anything to add stimulus. It means they're just going to wait and see if the medicine works, which I think eventually they're going to do, and it's not going to work. I think they'll have to come back whenever they pause. I think they're going to have to come back in the spring, and that's what kills everything. But there could be a window of where, the Fed stops and, gives it a chance, and then they have to do what Volcker did and start up again. That's what I think is going to happen.
I personally think dovish is also if they start guiding to a lot slower rate hikes. So if they hike 75, they go, look, going forward, it could be a lot smaller hikes, hinting at 25s maybe. I mean, that's going to be pretty dovish. But I unfortunately, I think that Powell is not going to give us anything different than last time he spoke.
All right,
and that's going to surprise markets. I think that's really going to surprise markets.
All right, let's take a poll in the room. Give me a why. Who thinks Paul is going to be mean again this Fed meeting? Mean. He's going to be a mean guy again. Give me a why.
Actually, we should do it. We should do it the other way. If you think he's not, give us an N so that we can see our N's as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty even.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ryan. Waffle.
Very mean.
That's a right answer, Charles. Okay, so it's pretty even.
He's a mean man. What can you say? You get crabby when you get older. You don't feel good every day.
Didn't we also have another Timmy Leaks out saying that they're going to stay high for longer?
Okay.
Old WSJ story.
All right.
I thought was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, who's doing anything in between? Anything here? Maybe we should just come back to work Wednesday.
We'll go Vegas.
Let's vote. We take the day off tomorrow. I'm in
Yep.
favor.
Turn
I'm
around
on
Although,
favor.
Tuesday.
yes.
It doesn't matter when the Fed's on Wicked Wednesday. So something to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have Nargis coming in here today, 007.
Excellent.
See what's on her radar. I was gonna sing to her today.
She's into
She here?
cryptos, right?
No,
Or not?
S&P. She follows everything. She does a lot of things with numbers and cycles, and excellent technician. That I don't see her in the house yet. Do you guys?
Okay. Let me check.
What are you looking for, Dale?
Nargis.
Oh, Nargis. Yeah.
No, I don't see. Dude, your
Okay.
voice is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Go to bed, man. Seriously.
I get to appreciate Blake waking up in the middle of the night.
Did you hear any owls?
No, actually, no. Although I know there are quite a few of them here.
Oh, okay.
What about the garbage truck?
Oh yeah, actually, we had that, and it's very loud. We had it one day. It's very loud.
Sounds like he's been on a stag do. Yeah, he actually probably has been the equivalent of like 3 stag do's. I don't see Nargis.
Okay.
Anyway,
grab
what
the
else can we
screen
talk
so
about?
I could go be Forex guest hunter.
I'll take the
All right.
screen.
I'll Let me go wrangle. Let me go wrangle her, man.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So we're talking about the Fed and yields, and I really think if Powell is not dovish, I think we're going to be breaking these highs. I know we're 25, 30 base points away, but I think the market is going to be pretty surprised by it, and the move is going to be sudden. And then the target somewhere between 450 and 5%, which, as I've said all along, I think is terminal. Where was it? Yeah, something probably around 4.5 to 5%. And I do think that inflation is going to start dropping early next year. The S&P, again, we talked about 3,900. We hit it, we went above for about 10 points or so. Now it's no man's land until the Fed. And if you ask me, I think we're heading back down towards 3,300. So this is what I think. I think we're going down, and then the end.
Okay, one more low.
Yeah. Obviously, I could be wrong, and this is a very, very important level. This 3,400. This is very important. So if that goes, I mean, that's going to be tough. The dollar is, it's all the same trade. That's a problem. We go from one instrument to the next. It's all the same trade. It's all the Fed, and it's all yields, and yields are driving everything. And it's the same with gold. We have this double bottom, which tried to play out. It's not. And this is now very vulnerable. 1614, very, very vulnerable to Wednesday. And I think it's going to go. So patience required, both gold and silver. I can't say anymore. And cryptos is the same, even though we've had a nice little bounce in Bitcoin, Ethereum, even more. Bitcoin is driving, is in the driver's seat in terms of crypto. So if Bitcoin goes, you can bet Ethereum goes and everything else goes. And I don't know if you saw Dogecoin.
I heard about that.
This is all in the back of Elon Musk buying Twitter, and how he likes to manipulate. Oh, sorry, did I say manipulate? Yeah, manipulate the price. And
this volume could have been just a little small order for him.
Yeah.
so volume, right?
You get these moves which are I don't want to be any part of this. So anyway, do we have Nargis or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
And she so looks forward to these. So I just tried to reach her on Twitter.
No problem.
Okay.
Gold silver ratio coming up towards this. Both a 50 DMA, sorry, 200 DMA.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. You know, anything I look at, it's a yield play. So I don't know what more to say. I really don't. Currency wise, I still want to be short dollar Norway, but not at these levels. We're on this 50 DMA right now. If we get again close to 1060, I think that's going to be a nice.
On the Fed, so maybe the Fed will drive it there.
Maybe,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all up to the Fed. I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to do. So.
Plan. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Just getting ready, knowing where we are going into the Fed, where the market's leaning, plan your levels. You know, what has Powell got to do to take us to new areas in, you know, the dollar yields, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Maybe you'll go a full percentage point.
Yeah,
and
that
be
would be.
That'll be panic.
Yeah, they absolutely don't need to do that. I mean, they really don't. Yeah.
Powell reimposes COVID curbs as China loosens visa rules. They conflicting.
Check out the daily moves in Nasdaq. I mean, that was big negative candle, big engulfing bullish candle. I mean, how can you trade these markets? It's very difficult.
You almost have to day trade them.
You do. Even my dog agrees. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. So
okay. Well, we'll give her a few minutes. Could open it up for a few minutes and take some questions. Because, go ahead, shoot if you have any questions.
I was going to mention back to dollar CAD that you were looking at earlier, Blake Dale, because we got the Canadian jobs report coming up same time as the NFP this week.
Okay.
That 135 level is looking pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a neckline. Yeah.
Might consider setting up a break trade. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because it'd measure near 131, 130.
Yeah, which is I think if it breaks, you see it, you know, at the very least 134 very quickly.
Yeah.
The problem I have is that this looks like a kind of bullish consolidation before the next leg higher. And but yeah, okay, if it breaks below, that means that we get a dovish Fed, and that opens all sorts of possibilities after that. But I think this is going to resolve to the upside, at least in the short term.
It's also worth noting the data we've got this week. You know, we've got ISMs, both ISMs, one before the Fed, one tomorrow, which is the big manufacturing one, and then one after, and obviously NFP. So it is going to be a very choppy week. You know, if the Fed are hawkish and then suddenly we get a really bad NFP, we're going to see markets do a 180, I should think, and all the figures will be out.
Where would a retest of your channel line that the euro broke out have come in?
A retest, well, it's going to be low 98s here. Okay. So I think if the Fed gives us that, I think that would be a really good scenario. You know, the Fed's not dovish. This breaks, you know, 100 pips lower, whatever, and then we get a bad NFP on Friday.
Yeah, that may be more important. Okay, Nargis is here. That may, you know what? The NFP may turn out to be very important in light of what the Fed does to get people second guessing again if it comes in weak after Powell talked hawkish. You know, anyway, interesting week ahead of us. Just right now, you know, rather than trade, you're probably better off with a Ouija board. Or trade 5 minute charts. So Nargis is here. I'm going to promote her.
Excellent.
Nargis, you have to allow me. There you go. All right.
Hey, hi, good morning, Dale.
Hi, Nargis.
Hi, good morning. You can hear me?
Can hear you. Yes, you want to share your screen? It's the green button. Everyone, Nargis Motawala is with us today, and her handle is Nargis007. So she's kind of a secret agent.
Okay.
There's a gal who lives a life of danger. Every move she makes, she stays a stranger. In every move she makes, another chance she takes. Odds are she won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent
Can
gal,
you?
secret
Okay.
agent
Yeah.
Dale. They're giving you a
Can
number
you see my
and
screen?
taking away your name.
Hey,
We
hi,
got
Dale.
it.
You can hear me, or did I go on mute?
No, you're good. You're
Oh,
good.
good. Thank God.
All right. So S&P.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll start back from this chat again. I think we talked about this last time in your meeting, in the same interview, right?
Yeah.
First of all, good morning, everyone, and
Good
thanks for
morning,
joining and
Nargis.
all the encouragement. And thanks, Dale, for inviting me. So yeah, so this is one which I had talked about last time also. This was our March lows. This was our high, 4808, and from there we got a correction. This correction came as presented as a two drive XABCD, and then it hit some quite a bit of extensions. So one thing was this was where we could call it as an actual breakout right from here. So I had marked that ES would like somewhere here, or the Feb 2020 high, which was around the 2 area. That's why I had marked it in a black line. The reason to have these multiple supports here is because two reasons. One is from 2174 to 3365 was one cycle, and from here to 4489 was two cycles, and ES did 2.25 cycle to upside. Okay, and from there it pulled back. So again, 4097 was I think 4489 was back one cycle, and 4097 was one cycle, and then 3481 was the second cycle. That's why I was looking for somewhere here, which is 3481, which would mark the second cycle.
Okay.
Earlier when we had talked, we were in somewhere in June, somewhere here, and I was expecting that the price would move up, and if it has any interest to fall, it should go and make a new low around 3481. So, and 3550 was an important number for me because that was the monthly support coming in. And if you remember, Dale, we had talked about this in 2020 when this crash was happening. Why I was looking somewhere close to 2209, because that completes the marking not only of the cycle but also the coming on the monthly support. But the caveat at that time was this price hit during Globex, not during daytime. I mean the regular trading time. So that's why that's one anomaly which is still not resolved. But this price 3550, it hit during the daytime, albeit not going down but going up. So we gapped down into 3502, and from there we kept going up straight, crossing all the numbers. And XPX, this one came very close to 3481. It was 3491. So for me, that cycle is at least hit. If it is complete or not complete, we will see, as time is passing by. So these two confluences came to me together, that it hit that 3550 area and it hit that 3481. Okay, and this is this was a good support because the structure is there to hold the price here. At least there is some demand here. At least a knee-jerk reaction you would get. So 1, 2, 3 confluence were coming from it: 3550, 3481, and this demand area. And I expected the price to bounce off from here. And from since then,
Nargis? Let's take it. Let's take it from where we are now instead of the history lesson. Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about what you think now that we've hit your numbers. Not that it could bounce and maybe it'll hold unless it doesn't. Is your view that this low is worth getting long for, or are you looking to sell this next rally, or maybe even the rally we had last week?
So if we look at here, your ES, so this we got the bounce over from here. Now, based on this structure, I'm expecting at least 3 or 4 targets to the upside. Okay, one is almost coming here, 3907 to 3930. Okay, so we hit 3907, but the 3930 has not been hit. Generally, it does try to hit that number as well. So we'll see whether in the next coming sessions it would do. Friday's run was crazy, so it may try to calm down a little bit today or tomorrow, and we have FOMC. And the second target was around 4065 to 4175. Remember, this high was 4175 when last time when we started puking. This high was at 4175 here, and it was also done in Globix, and it kept coming down. So if this upside move is good enough, it should be able to satisfy that move. Third target is 4357, which is again this high from where we fell back. And if I don't know why, how, what will happen is, if this is a good structure and if price tries to take this over, then I'm expecting a full retest of the high, 4700.
We take out 47.
Yeah, this 4327.
Oh, okay. If we take that out, new highs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we sit above this red line, then this structure should give us at least test of this, because see, so far we have been just touching the supply from the lower end and failing from there, right? So it tried here, and it failed, kept failing. But this time, if it wants to try, it can enter this supply zone third time and try to test. There is this one hard line also here, so around 4700, 4650. There's a gap here, 4650 on XPX, and so 4700 was could be close to that, could be the fourth target. New high, what it is going to do, that's completely later on once we take out that supply. 5185 is our half cycle. And
would you call 4700 like your bull bear line?
Not yet, unless, see, because as long as I'm trading above 4489 and price is sitting over it, I would say that some bullishness has entered the market. Okay, but again, this structure was not tested any time from downside. So clearing here and staying here, absorbing everything here, then deciding to go high, then it would mean, okay, all this is done. Because the moment we'll enter here, there'll be a lot of volatility coming in again, right? Because
so what do you do with the Fed coming up here and say they do a rug pull? Would you be looking to be a buyer at your blue dotted line? Give us something that,
yes.
What are you thinking? What's your plan into the Fed, Narcis?
So into the Fed, first of all, I would see where the price is trading just on Wednesday before the Fed starts talking. Is it above 3930 or is it below 3907? Okay, so if the price tries to whack it down, the price should start losing 3907 and start falling down completely. And all this should try to negate. But if it comes and the pullback is not that severe, and then after some time or next day, I generally try to look at the reaction, what reaction they give the first time. Immediately as the Fed starts talking, the futures will either tank, or they'll that 1 minute or few second tick you watch, either it'll go up or it'll move down. So I try to watch that reaction, and that third reaction is the right reaction, in the sense that first, if they said, okay, the ES spiked up, then I know that probably ES will settle down either today or in the couple of days next day, a couple of days following it, and then we'll try to follow the actual trend. So if it was up, then I'll try to see, going up. So the reaction is just to, calm down ES a little bit, bring it on a smaller time frame to some support zone, and then from there it will again start rising. And once it captures 3907, 3930 is a very important number for me going on here. And if price is trying to stay over it, I will be net long.
3907 is your key number?
39.30.
39.30.
It's actually 39.29 point something, but we'll just say 39.30.
Okay.
Yeah, because ES goes in quarter ticks, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay.
the decimals can. So that's how I will play it. So first reaction, second reaction, and third reaction, I would go in the direction of the first reaction. That's how generally I play it. So, but everyone is like very bearish in the market. Everyone is like the macro is bad, and yes, it is bad. Interest rates are rising, and Fed has told us last year that they are going to raise rates. Inflation they are trying to bring down. So much interest rates have been risen, but the inflation we are still around 8, right? So bringing that down, it may take a lot of effort. I don't know how they would continue to do it in terms of raising the rates, how much, how long, and all that. But if they are a little bit dovish, in the tone or in the language, or reduce the amount at which they are going to increase the rate, then this would be enough to push it higher. But if the tone is like really hawkish or something, then where did my go? Then we definitely will hit this number too. It should break 34.81 and then it should come down to 33.65. So Dale, one thing I was noticing yesterday, if I can, put in a minute into that, okay?
Sure.
So this was 21.74 low, and this was 48. And if you see the structure, this is almost like going in a very, very narrow channel, and it's a very, very controlled price action, meaning the pullbacks are very, very shallow, right? You can almost say it's a straight line, considering the amount of the short pullback we have. Only here we started seeing a little bit different structure, more bigger pullbacks. Now from here to here, we only have this structure which is different in this straight line till here, right? And it is exactly around the breakdown, the cycle high on Feb 2020, and also the breakdown following it in going into March. So this W, I was thinking, why would you put this structure right here versus anywhere else? It could have been here, it could have been here, it could have been here, but it is right here. So in my head, I'm thinking there is a reason for this structure to be here. And we got a bounce here, right from here. Now suppose, just potential thought process, nothing else. What if this is it, okay? And price has tested all this price, and at the moment, or in the short time frame, or at least maybe I don't know what time frame, it may not be interested in coming down here. Let's say this is our bottom. Okay, is that a possibility? Then what should happen next in order to say that okay, the market has bottomed? So that's what
look
I
for a
was thinking.
similar formation that you had back then.
Yes, maybe look for a similar formation, look for the tone change in the macros, right? What they start talking and what, because see, nothing from 2018 or 2020 is happening in the normal stock market structure, right? The way it is going up, the way it falls back, all that craziness we are experiencing.
Yeah, it looked artificial, didn't it?
Yeah. So what if the capitulation process is also altered a little bit than what we are used to seeing traditionally, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
no
selling, yeah, and the volume coming in, and everybody sells, then capitulates, then the price moves. Because that's in our head, we are looking for that structure, right? That's the process we are used to. What if it is not, right? So I'm just playing the devil's advocate. What if that process is also changed, and what if this structure which is placed here has a role to play? That's all I'm thinking.
Okay.
And
well, right now is the highs of that structure have come into play.
Yes, high of the structure. It just this here it poked right here in the middle, right here at this this one here is right 34. The highs are around there, 34 something, 35 something in that this thing. Right. So that was my thing, like I think XPX looks better than
that's it.
than the ES actually. So I think it was this one. Yeah, and it's also the time frame is also the same, October time frame, and so it's basically exactly after 2 years we hit this structure. So time wise it's arriving at the same time, and support wise it's arriving, and we have. So I'm just thinking, what could it mean? I'm just trying to see the meaning out of it and see how it plays out, right? And then it doesn't have to be. It could just retrace someplace and come back down again. And the macros don't support it right now. So there is absolutely no reason to. And right now only the indices are going up. All your tech is down. The supporting thing, the biggest holders, your Tesla, your Amazons, even Apple is it resolved to the upside, but it's not that great, right? It's
but
not like
that game is over, and they've rotated until there'll be new icons in the next bull market. It won't be the old game.
Yes,
the old game is dead.
Yes, so we have to
Although,
look for the new
they
heroes.
should rally, but they're not the leaders anymore.
They are not the leaders anymore. The only reason Apple and Tesla are working together is Apple, Tesla, ES working together is because they are the biggest holders. So they are like the two pillars for the S&P and Nasdaq to not let it go crazy or fall down, right? Because if Apple has also resolved down and Tesla was below 229, it could have been really bad. Instead of what we saw on Friday, we could have seen the opposite of Friday.
Yeah, if they didn't recover, right?
If they didn't recover, right? Yeah.
And that was all done in the aftermarket, and by the time you woke up, it's like it never happened.
It's like never happened, and I was expecting that it would not happen, because before the earnings, S&P has tried to pose a two drive on XPX to hit 3969 and 3907. I was like, then Apple has to resolve to the upside if this structure wants to play out. So I was just looking at Apple because 135 was my very important support. And if Apple broke that, then we would definitely have a bad bloodbath. But they took it only till 136 after hours, just as it reported. And from there, it picked up. It stayed around 142 the whole night, and next day it started running. And Tesla, it was below 29, that important support which it broke, and it's hovering below it. It briefly went to 198, and it came back up, and it has been just dancing below 229, and now they were trying to bring it back up 229. So if Tesla also comes back up 229 and Apple also holds that 135, then it's a good possibility that the rally should continue. I mean, of course, it could be volatile. It would be with its pauses and everything, but the structure should also be. The structure will be there to keep pushing the price to upside. Is my thinking. I will be wrong once it hits a major resistance, or it fails around 41.75, because that was a number it has not hit. And from there we can see. So as of now, from 39.30 to 41.75.
We're just looking at links here.
Yeah, so I had just noted down for you.
Okay.
What I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
so these are the ones we talked about. Fangman T was there. So I just built up some structures where they could fall next. And Google also honored that 90 zone. Tesla has not done much. It's just sticking around this red big line, $200. It moved there. Netflix was something I was looking to go up, and it did. So it's currently sitting around this pink line, not able to cross it over. So once it crosses over that side, a lot of possibility happens, at least still here, filling the gap basically around 333, if I'm not wrong.
What's your view on TLT, since we're talking about interest rates?
Yes.
View on bonds or TLT?
Yes, TLT, I was expecting it to at least bottom around 93, 91. And we did hit here. And I was expecting that it would hold 100 for some time, at least give a bounce and then do it. But they didn't do it. They spent some time around 97 and just immediately brought it down to 93, 91 area. And now we got a bounce. the whole now the one question is this. Okay, will we get a test around retest of the downside around 97 or around 101? So this structure, once it clears, then we have upper possibility. Otherwise, from here or here, we could get a retest of the low, and if this holds, this ABC should carry it to the upside, at least to repair. But if not, then it does look good though.
Would you buy a retrace on hawkish Fed and it doesn't make a new low?
I would try at least and see, because my stop would be very close to the previous low. Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be a bet I could make. Actually, I did make a bet here. We did buy this here, and I exited around 97. Just thinking that it may try to retest here 100, and I think I may still have a few smallish number of calls left over just to see whether it has any interest over 97. But see, this on a weekly, it is almost a straight line. So some repair is definitely due based on the oversold RSI or something.
About the dollar.
Yes, dollar is. I think, I don't know if you read my thread, is around this. I was looking for it. 111 was my number. I wanted it to see what it does here, but it did poke higher, 114. And from there, it is just trying to consolidate. And then, it did try to lose 111, and it did lose that previous low, 110.5, came to 109 something. But now again, it is going back up. So this structure, it's possible that, a bear flag or something and wants to come down. If not, then if the price really wants to stay above 111, then it may try to retest a little bit higher. But I was thinking this ABC should bring it down a little bit more, at least till 109. We got the 109, below 107, 106 at least, to calm it down. And then, the equities could rally. So for me, this is above 111 or below 111. That's all I'm trying to go for it now.
Okay,
and similarly, 111, because that's the important pivot for it, and it also matches with your I think it was 3 monthly. It also matches around with this structure starting here, right? So, and this is your higher end around 120. So if it is staying above 111, then you have this structure, the top structure exposed to 120. So it already did 114. Then we see whether this would be a breakout on a quarterly chart, or, what it wants to do, because then you have this big structure presenting, and from here to here, the price was never tested, right? So that's an open virgin area for it to do something if it wants to. But on a monthly chart, at least, or a weekly chart, at least,
where's that purple line back on the other chart? Was that at the COVID high 103? And
this one?
Yeah.
This one? Yes,
102.60.
Yeah, this basically all these highs, right?
Okay.
So that was the breakout.
Look at what it did in 98. It broke out over that line and traded there for what? This is a monthly?
98, yeah. So 103, and this went to 120.
Right. And then it negated the breakout.
So
maybe
if you're looking,
so under your purple line, there's problems back under.
Yeah, under the purple line, yes, it is. It's not. So right now we
purple
are over
haze.
this purple
Sorry,
haze. Yeah. No. You're right. It's a purple haze. Yes. I don't know. By default, it selects a purple line for me. So mostly my lines are purple. And even though this is a straight line, I'm not able to draw a straight line. I don't know how. My line.
Or it could be purple rain.
Purple rain. Yeah.
Purple
Does that mean
rain? Huh?
Does that mean dollars?
Like that song? Yeah, Prince.
Does it equate to dollars?
Yeah. So some nice looks, Nargis. Really appreciate it. What do you have the most conviction on? All the markets that you trade and monitor and project and imagine things. What do you in your bones? What do you feel?
So I do feel that we should at least move up to repair quite a bit. At least that once it goes over 39.30, I do feel that we may push higher. But again, we have FOMC, then we have elections. A lot of news. Event related things are there. So I don't know what the election will bring out or not bring out. We have holiday season also, and then from January we have the anniversary of the fall 2020, the whole year.
Yeah.
So it's all completely event going on till March, right? So if they don't do it here, then they may react between January to March to honor the anniversary, at least in some way. So it all depends on how they want to do it. And if the dollar actually tries to do a bear flag and come down, or at least on a quarterly basis, it tries to stay here or test back this purple line, then it has room to, do a lot of things. That's there. And your oil also is just stagnant within the 10 points, 81 to 91, not doing much. And it is above 77. That's the number for me. As long as it's above 77, it's in a bullish structure. And below that, it will try to test the breakout around 65 to 59. That's there. But remember, oil has not touched that 130.5, that Globex high. So that is pending, and it will come back at some point for us. So when they will do it, I don't know. Maybe after elections, maybe next year sometime. But that structure needs to hit at some point. So thinking that, okay, oil is done or not done, in my opinion, it's not done. That structure needs to be visited. Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm thinking over 100 again anyway.
Yeah, this 130.5, right? This was the high. Yeah.
Right.
So somewhere it should, it is just dancing here, because see, a lot of support is around here, the breakout, and it 60. This area was its breakout, 63 to 59, where it fired bullish, and again it's just holding under this slanted line. And if it tries to go over it, which is around 91 or something, based on what time, what month it is testing, it's 91 something, goes here, and then this orange line is a pending thing for it to do, and it has to do it RTH during regular trading hours to honor that price. After that, only we can say oil is done or oil is not done.
Okay, a lot of either ors that we address every day. Some great areas.
Because Dale, if you see these days, the price structure is mostly during Globex only, right? All the bigger moves are happening there, and RTH, if you see, it doesn't do it immediately. It takes its own sweet time to hit that, right? For example, ES hit 41.75 like some few weeks ago, and up till now that thing is not resolved. And we went all the way to 3,500, and now we are coming back up. Imagine we'll go to 41.75. It resolves. It goes till there, and then it doesn't like it, and it wants to whack it down. Then imagine all the way we would come back, that many number of points or that many percentage, right? So it's a highly volatile environment, in my opinion, and the moves are big on either side.
Yeah.
So that is something which I would want everyone to keep in mind, that getting very long or very short in the sense in the opposite direction may not sit as well for certain amount of time, because these uncertainties are there.
Yeah, it's okay to do nothing too.
Yes, of course, it's okay to do nothing and let time pass, resolve itself, and then we can do it. And one more thing I had was, which niggles in my head. Oh no, this is not ES. Which is at the back of my head, and I'm not able to take that away. Is one is this structure which is XPX, right? Which is this structure which I am a little bit, at least right now, I am a little bit confident that this could hit some upper side. But remember this one number, 21.74, which was done in the Globex time in the night time. That was also never tested. What if sometime in future because ES is very good at resolving these anomalies. So I am keeping mind open for this number also. When, how, that's another story, but these are the data points are there in my head. Okay. So
new highs, and then, maybe next year.
Yes.
Okay, Nargis, I really appreciate your views and sharing them with us. And I share with you the caution, and it's okay to do nothing. And just sometimes we're paid to watch. Okay, so
Yeah.
being an observer, you don't always have to be a speculator. At times, it's okay to be a spectator.
Yeah.
So great talking to you again, Nargis. I hope you have
Dale, can I ask you something?
Sure.
So all this stuff which is happening here, the way the price is moving, the way things are moving from here to here. I know you've been so much longer in the stock market than me, at least. Do you think that this is the first time it is happening, and do the most experienced people are also trying to make sense out of it on how to think or go about it or see what it can do? Do you also feel the same, a little bit same way?
I've been reading that people say it's the toughest year they ever had to trade, and
Okay.
you pointed it out. Vicious reversals every other day make it hard
Yeah.
to be even a swing trader. It
Yes.
takes a lot of intestinal fortitude.
Yeah. So this move for me was completely on faith for three things only: coming to the cycle, support of this structure, and
Yeah.
hitting that 3550, which was on the monthly, which it had not done previously. So this was the first time it is doing after many years. So these three things made me think that this is a strong bounce area and we should bounce out
Yeah.
of here. So
Yeah.
that's the only conviction I'm playing with. I'll be wrong and I'll be stopped out. That's all. That is all the reality I have.
Yeah, I think we have at least a squeeze up to the August highs. So
Yeah.
that's my view.
Yes. Yeah. And you may be right, because that's why
We'll
I
see.
marked this red line here to see
Wednesday
what
the
happens.
Wednesday the world could change. So remember.
I know. Can you imagine?
So
We are living day by
remember,
day.
and I do have to run that. What W.D. Gann said: if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. So, like Narja
Yes.
says, keep an open mind. It'll keep your account open. Thank you, my trading warrior sister. It's
Thank you,
nice.
sir, for having me.
Thanks for sharing your work with us, your hard work. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. And thanks for the team also for, always inviting me. And Dale, you're the best person to talk to. I always enjoy talking to you. And you know what? We are again at the highs when we are meeting. So
okay. follow Nargis on Twitter at Nargis007.
Yeah, no, but Dale, can you imagine? It has been consistently that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every time
rhythm,
when we meet, the market is at the highs, and then the thing is it pukes. So maybe I should get my puts.
The new F.A.C.E indicator.
I know, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay,
So
thanks, Dale. Have a good day.
You too, Nargis. And everyone, you could join the team in 7 minutes on the Morning Edge. See everyone for Turnaround Tuesday. Adios. You're welcome. Everyone enjoyed it, Nargis.
Thank you, Dale. And thanks everyone, all the people listening in. Thanks for all the love you have given.